ಸಂಸಾರದ ಬಾನಲರಿಡಲೋಕ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯ ಕಾರುಣ್ಯ ಗಣ ಗಣಾತ್ವಂ ತಸ್ಯ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ ಗುಣನವಾಸ್ಯ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀ ಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ ತಸ್ಯ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ ಗುಣನವಾಸ್ಯ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀ ಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ ಮಹಾಪ್ರಭು ಕೀರ್ತನ ನೃತ್ಯ ಗೀತ ವಾದಿತ್ರಮಾದ್ಯಾನ್ ಮನಸೋರಸೇನಾ ಮಹಾಪ್ರಭು ಕೀರ್ತನ ನೃತ್ಯ ಗೀತ ವಾದಿತ್ರಮಾದ್ಯಾನ್ ಮನಸೋರಸೇನಾ ರೋಮಾಂಚಕಂ ಪಾಶ್ರುತರಂಗಬಾಜೋ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀ ಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ ರೋಮಾಂಚಕಂ ಪಾಶ್ರುತರಂಗಬಾಜೋ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀ ಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ ಶ್ರೀ ವಿಗ್ರಹಾರಾಧನ ನಿತ್ಯನಾಮ ಶೃಂಗಾರ ತನ್ಮಂದಿರಮಜನಾದೋ ಶ್ರೀ ವಿಗ್ರಹಾರಾಧನ ನಿತ್ಯನಾಮ ಶೃಂಗಾರ ತನ್ಮಂದಿರಮಜನಾದೋ ಯುಕ್ತಸ್ಯ ಭಕ್ತಾಶ್ಚ ನಿಯುಂಜತೋಪಿ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀ ಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ ತಸ್ಯ ಭಕ್ತಾಶ್ಚ ನಿಯುಂಜತೋಪಿ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀ ಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ ಚತುರ್ವಿಧಾ ಶ್ರೀ ಭಗವತ್ ಪ್ರಸಾದೋ ಸ್ವಾದನ್ನ ತೃಪ್ತಾನ್ ಹರಿಭಕ್ತ ಸಂಗಾನ್ ಚತುರ್ವಿಧಾ ಶ್ರೀ ಭಗವತ್ ಪ್ರಸಾದೋ ಸ್ವಾದನ್ನ ತೃಪ್ತಾನ್ ಹರಿಭಕ್ತ ಸಂಗಾನ್ ಕೃತ್ವೈವ ತೃಪ್ತಿಂ ಭಜತ ಸದೈವ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀ ಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ ಕೃತ್ವೈವ ತೃಪ್ತಿಂ ಭಜತ ಸದೈವ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀ ಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ ಶ್ರೀರಾಧಿಕಾ ಮಾಧವಯೋರಪಾರ ಮಾಧುರ್ಯ ಲೀಲಾ ಗುಣರೂಪನಾಮ್ನಾ ಶ್ರೀರಾಧಿಕಾ ಮಾಧವಯೋರಪಾರ ಮಾಧುರ್ಯ ಲೀಲಾ ಗುಣರೂಪನಾಮ್ನಾ ಪ್ರತಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸ್ವರನ್ನಲೋರುಪಸ್ಯ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀ ಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ ಪ್ರತಿಕ್ಷಣ ಸ್ವರಣಲೋರುಪಸ್ಯ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀ ಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ ನಿಕುಂಜಯೋನೋ ರತಿ ಕೇಲಿಸಿದ್ಧೈ ಯಾಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರ್ಯೋಕ್ತಿರಪೇಕ್ಷಣೀಯ ನಿಕುಂಜಯೋನೋ ರತಿ ಕೇಳಿಸಿದ್ಧೈ ಯಾಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರ್ಯೋಕ್ತಿರಪೇಕ್ಷಣೀಯ ತತ್ರಾತಿದಾಕ್ಷಾರತಿ ವಲ್ಲಭಾಸ್ಯ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀ ಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ ತತ್ರಾತಿದಾಕ್ಷಾರತಿ ವಲ್ಲಭಾಸ್ಯ ವಂದೇ ಗುರೋ ಶ್ರೀ ಚರಣರವಿಂದಂ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾಧರಿತ್ವೇನ ಸಮಸ್ತಶಾಸ್ತ್ರೇ ಉಕ್ತಸ್ತಥಾ ಭಾವ್ಯತ ಏವ ಸದ್ಧಿ ಸಾಕ್ಷಾಧರಿತ್ವೇನ ಸಮಸ್ತಶಾಸ್ತ್ರೇ ಉಕ್ತಸ್ತಥಾ ಭಾವ್ಯತ ಏವ ಸದ್ಧಿ किन्तु प्रभोर्या प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणरविन्दम् किन्तु प्रभोर्या प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणरविन्दम् यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत् प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादात् न गति कुतोऽपि यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत् प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादात् न गति कुतोऽपि ध्यायां स्तुवां तस्य यशस्वी सन्ध्यं वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणरविन्दम् ध्यायां स्तुवां तस्य यशस्वी सन्ध्यं वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणरविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्री चरणरविन्दम् वन्दे Shri Charanarvindam. Vande Guru 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 Shri Charanarvindam. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namaste Narasimhaya Praladala Dadaine Hiranyakashipu Vakshaha Shilatanka Nakalaye Ito Nisimha Barato Nisimpu Yato Yamitato Nisimpu Ere Nisimpu Iraye Nisimpu Nisimhamadim Saranam Prapatye Tavakara Kamalavare Nakam Adhuta Sringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshavadrita Narahariruta Jaya Jagadisa Hare Jaya Jagadisa Hare Jaya Jagadisa Hare Jaya Nisim Hare Jaya Nisim Hare Jaya Nisim Hare Jaya Nisim Hare Jai Prahlad Maharaj Jai Prahlad Maharaj Jai Prahlad Maharaj Jai Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Buenos dias.
Aribolito, how are you?
Arbolito. Let me see if I can pull this up.
Okay, I have it here if not, but if you do it, it's easier for you mostly because otherwise I don't move it in the right time, whatever. But I have it
I
here.
don't care. I don't care. Do you want to just put it up
Okay,
since you have it?
yeah.
Okay.
Um, here. Yeah, there you go.
Mm. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author.
Lo que leímos ayer, ¿no? Yeah. I have to go to this one. Yeah.
We're here? Okay. Navai Jano Jatu Katan Chan Navrajan Mukunda Sevyanyavad Anga Samsritim Smaran Mukundan Grihupagun Hanam Punar Vihatum Ichin Narasa Graho Jana. Translation. My dear Vyas, even though a devotee of Lord Krishna sometimes falls down somehow or other, he certainly does not undergo material existence like others, fruitive workers, etc. Because a person who has once relished the taste of the lotus feet of the Lord can do nothing but remember that ecstasy again and again.
Let's go to the next one.
Yeah, I think we read this, right?
Yep.
Oh.
Let's see this one.
I think this is where we left off.
Yeah.
Okay. The Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead, is himself this cosmos, and still he is aloof from it. From him only has this cosmic manifestation emanated. In him it rests, and unto him it enters after annihilation. Your good self knows all about this. I have given only a synopsis. Purport. For a pure devotee, the conception of Mukunda, Lord Sri Krishna, is both personal and impersonal. The impersonal cosmic situation is also Mukunda because it is the emanation of the energy of Mukunda. For example, a tree is a complete unit, whereas the leaves and the branches of the tree are emanated parts and parcels of the tree. The leaves and branches of the tree are also the tree, but the tree itself is neither the leaves nor the branches. Did we read this? No?
Yeah, possible.
Or is he just saying it again?
No. We need to do 4 per day, so
Okay, we'll start here.
yeah, try
I
that.
think let's go down to the purport.
Okay.
I'll remember. I think we read this. Yes, we read this too. I
Okay.
remember this. Go to the next one. I think we should write it down where we left off.
Yes, I agree.
We read this too,
Okay.
because it was talking about the science.
Yes. Yes, we read this one.
Read that one too. Yeah. I don't think we read this.
No, I
Did we?
mean, yeah, no, yeah.
Oh.
I will write it down today, promise.
Okay. Although they were impartial by nature, those followers of the Vedanta blessed me with their causeless mercy. As far as I was concerned, I was self-controlled and I had no attachment for sports, even though I was a boy. In addition, I was not naughty and I did not speak more than required. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, all the Vedas are searching after me. Lord Sri Chaitanya says that in the Vedas, the subject matters are only three, namely to establish the relation of the living entities with the personality of Godhead, perform the relative duties in devotional service, and thus achieve the ultimate goal back to Godhead. As such, Vedanta Vadis, or the followers of the Vedanta, indicate the pure devotees of the personality of Godhead. Such Vedanta Vadis, or Bhakti Vedantas, are impartial in distributing the transcendental knowledge of devotional service. To them, no one is enemy or friend. No one is educated or uneducated. No one is especially favorable and no one is unfavorable. The Bhaktivedantas see that the people in general are wasting time in false sensuous things. Their business is to get the ignorant mass of people to reestablish the lost relationship with the personality of Godhead. By such endeavor, even the most forgotten soul is roused up to the sense of spiritual life. And thus being initiated by the Bhaktivedantas, the people in general gradually progress on the path of transcendental realization. So the Vedanta Vadis initiated the boy even before he became self-controlled and was detached from childish sporting, etc. But before the initiation, he, the boy, became more and more advanced in discipline, which is very essential for one who wishes to make progress in the line. In the system of Varnashram Dharma, which is the beginning of actual human life, small boys after 5 years of age are sent to become brahmacharis at the Guru's ashram, where these things are systematically taught to every boy, be he a king's son or the son of an ordinary citizen. The training was compulsory, not only to create good citizens of the state, but also to prepare the boy's future life for spiritual realization. The irresponsible life of sense enjoyment was unknown to the children of the followers of the Varnashram system. A boy was even injected with spiritual acumen before being placed by the father in the womb of the mother. Before the father and mother were responsible for the boy's both the father and mother were responsible for the boy's success in being liberated from material bondage. That is a process of successful family planning. It is to beget children for complete perfection. Without being self-controlled, without being disciplined, and without being fully obedient, no one can become successful in following the instructions of the spiritual master, and without doing so, no one is able to go back to Godhead.
A couple of things coming here is that, well, first is Narada telling the story. He was detached from playing, but he was serving them, and then they initiated him afterwards, no? So he lost the taste for those material things. And also this about the devotees did like Dakshakanya did the Garbhodana Samskara. Before they got pregnant, they did a chant 50 rounds and they did a certain day and a whole process of it. And most of the kids are very good devotees. I don't know if it's scientifically proven, but at least in that case, I've seen it. They worked. And sincere, sometimes even they may not do the whole Garbhodana Sanskrit. And many devotees are very sincere in their process of advancement, so they chant every day in their house. And I did a study, one student did a study, a PhD student who studied the effects of mother listening to classical music while they were pregnant. And she studied the effects of the babies after they were born, like, for example, the babies who the mothers heard, in this case, classical music, they were soothed easier. If they were cry, the mother will soothe them easier. Some babies, you can soothe them, like they cry and they cry. So they have these kind of advanced benefits, and it was material sound and everything. So imagine if they listen to the Maha Mantra while they were in the womb and before and after and during and so on and so forth. I'm sure it has I don't know if they have done any study about that, but I think it would be interesting study to be made. So we're learning about Narada Muni here. Because, it's interesting because Narada Muni first instructed him and to say what he was doing was jugupsitan, was useless, was not good at all, was for material entanglement or something like that. And now he's telling, well, this is my story. He told them first what needs to happen, and then he told them his story, how he became purified.
Once only by their permission I took the remnants of their food, and by doing so all my sins were at once eradicated. Thus being engaged, I became purified in heart, and at that time the very nature of the transcendentalist became attractive to me. Purport. Pure devotion is as much infectious, in a good sense, as infectious diseases. A pure devotee is cleared from all kinds of sins. The personality of Godhead is the purest entity, and unless one is equally pure from the infection of material qualities, one cannot become a pure devotee of the Lord. The Bhakti Vedantas, as above mentioned, were pure devotees, and the boy became infected with their qualities of purity by their association and by eating once the remnants of the foodstuff taken by them. Such remnants may be taken even without permission of the pure devotees. There are sometimes pseudo-devotees, and one should be very much cautious about them. There are many things which hinder one from entering devotional service, but by the association of pure devotees, all these obstacles are removed. The neophyte devotee becomes practically enriched with the transcendental qualities of the pure devotee, which means attraction for the personality of Godhead's name, fame, qualities, pastimes, etc. Infection of the qualities of the pure devotee means to imbibe the taste of pure devotion always in the transcendental activities of the personality of Godhead. This transcendental taste at once makes all material things distasteful. Therefore, a pure devotee is not at all attracted by material activities. After the elimination of all sins or obstacles on the path of devotional service, one can become attracted, one can have steadiness, one can have perfect taste, one can have transcendental emotions, and at last one can be situated on the plane of loving service of the Lord. All these stages develop by the association of pure devotees, and that is the purport of this stanza.
Yeah, we are associated with Srila Prabhupada here, which is a pure devotee. So hopefully we start getting some benefits from being detached from the material bondage. But also pure devotees sometimes, like we see the story, I don't remember the name of the devotee who was attached to a deer. You know the story? I don't know, remember the
Yeah,
name.
he mentioned it a few
Yeah, but
verses
I can't
ago.
remember the name.
Um,
Do you remember? No. Okay. But anyway, so like that. So the material energy is very strong. So we can get completely like almost free, and then suddenly one of the senses gets attracted to something material, even out of kindness, even out of like compassion, even out of whatever it is. And there we go again. One more circle around. In eternity speaking, is not that much, but it's still like, we could be enjoying Krishna's company. Anyway, we are reading Prabhupada's, those are pure devotee here. We are reading Narada, we're reading Bhagavatam, so we're not reading Prabhupada, we're reading Narada talking to Vyasa, that we are talking about the sages of Naimisharanya. We're literally associated with all of them by reading their words in here. So we have plenty of opportunities here too.
The sages of Naimisharanya and Gandhini and Vairashya.
Yeah. Everything counts. Everything counts. One more step.
O Vyasadeva, in that association, and by the mercy of those great Vedantists, I could hear them describe the attractive activities of Lord Krishna, and thus listening attentively, my taste for hearing of the personality of Godhead increased at every step. Lord Sri Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead, is attractive not only in his personal features, but also in his transcendental activities. It is so because the Absolute is absolute by his name, fame, form, pastimes, entourage, paraphernalia, etc. The Lord descends to this material world out of his causeless mercy and displays his various transcendental pastimes as a human being so that human beings attracted towards him become able to go back to Godhead. Men are naturally apt to hear histories and narrations of various personalities performing mundane activities without knowing that by such association, one simply wastes valuable time and also becomes addicted to the three qualities of mundane nature. Instead of wasting time, one can get spiritual success by turning his attention to the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. By hearing the narration of the pastimes of the Lord, one contacts directly the personality of Godhead, and, as explained before, by hearing about the personality of Godhead from within, all accumulated sins of the mundane creature are cleared. Thus, being cleared of all sins, the hearer gradually becomes liberated from mundane association and becomes attracted to the features of the Lord. Narada Muni has just explained this by his personal experience. The whole idea is that by simply hearing about the Lord's pastimes, one can become one of the associates of the Lord. Narada Muni has eternal life, unlimited knowledge, and unfathomed bliss, and he can travel all over the material and spiritual worlds without restriction. One can attain to the highest perfection of life simply by attentive hearing of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord from the right sources. As Sri Narada heard them from the pure devotees, Bhaktiveddantas, in his previous life. This process of hearing in the association of the devotees is especially recommended in this age of quarrel, Kali. Are you talking? Because I don't hear you.
Yeah, I'm thinking about here. It says in the previous life, Narada heard from the devotees, but later on, he will say there is many lives that passed between he heard the sages, because then he went to the forest when his mother passed away. We will read about it, and then the forest Krishna came, and then he has to wait many lifetime before he became Narada Muni. But here it says in the previous life. I'm a little confused about that.
Maybe not the one right before, but in a previous life.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah. In his previous lives, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, great sage, as soon as I got a taste of the personality of Godhead, my intention to hear of the Lord was unflinching. And as my taste developed, I could realize that it was only in my ignorance that I had accepted gross and subtle coverings, for both the Lord and I are transcendental. Ignorance in material existence is compared to darkness, and in all Vedic literatures, the personality of Godhead is compared to the sun. Wherever there is light, there cannot be darkness. Hearing of the Lord's pastimes is itself transcendental association with the Lord, because there is no difference between the Lord and his transcendental pastimes. To become associated with the supreme light is to dissipate all ignorance. By ignorance only, the conditioned soul wrongly thinks that both he and the Lord are products of material nature. But in fact, the personality of Godhead and the living beings are transcendental, and they have nothing to do with the material nature. When ignorance is removed, and it is perfectly realized that there is nothing existing without the personality of Godhead, then nescience is removed. Since the gross and subtle bodies are emanations from the personality of Godhead, the knowledge of light permits one to engage both of them in the service of the Lord. The gross body should be engaged in acts of rendering service to the Lord, as in bringing water, cleansing the temple, or making obeisances, etc. The path of archana or archan, or worshiping the Lord in the temple, involves engaging one's gross body in the service of the Lord. Similarly, the subtle mind should be engaged in hearing the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, thinking about them, chanting his name, etc. All such activities are transcendental. None of the gross or subtle senses should otherwise be engaged. Such realization of transcendental activities is made possible by many, many years of apprenticeship in the devotional service, but simply attraction of love for the personality of Godhead, as it was developed in Narada Muni by hearing, is highly effective.
More glorifications of the benefits of reading Bhagavatam.
Thus, during 2 seasons, the rainy season and autumn, I had the opportunity to hear these great-souled sages constantly chant the unadulterated glories of Lord Hari. As the flow of my devotional service began, the coverings of the mode of passion and ignorance vanished. Transcendental loving service for the Supreme Lord is the natural inclination of every living being. The instinct is dormant in everyone, but due to the association of material nature, the modes of passion and ignorance cover this from time immemorial. If by the grace of the Lord and the great soul devotees of the Lord, a living being becomes fortunate enough to associate with the unadulterated devotees of the Lord and gets a chance to hear the unadulterated glories of the Lord, certainly the flow of devotional service takes place like the flow of a river. As the river flows on till she reaches the sea, similarly, pure devotional service flows by the association of pure devotees till it reaches the ultimate goal, namely transcendental love of God. Such a flow of devotional service cannot stop. On the contrary, it increases more and more without limitation. The flow of devotional service is so potent that any onlooker also becomes liberated from the influence of the modes of passion and ignorance. These two qualities of nature are thus removed, and the living being is liberated, being situated in his original position.
Acharya always say, when you realize one day that you've been acting only through mode of passion of ignorance, and the mode of nature is what make we think we are very free to make decisions, and we think we are making the decisions, I am in charge, I'm making my decisions, I decide not to do this and I decide to do this, but in reality we are mostly deciding things based on the influence of the mode of nature. We are not free from that. We are a little bit slave of those natures, but we are so convinced by their slaving that we think we are free. So the moment that we can understand that we are actually controlled by the natures, ignorance or passion, and by trying to develop sattva guna, then you maybe start getting free. And also, like he said, once you start getting in the mood of listening to Krishna, you got a higher taste, you start getting a higher taste. I start reading the Brihat Bhagavan I have next to my bed when I go to bed. I go to bed late, so I don't read much, but I start reading it, and it's all the pastimes one of his dear friends next to Krishna, and seeing all what he's doing and how he plays. And it was a pastime where Radharani cooked ladus, and he loved ladus, and he just put in the mouth and make a face and sound like it was very bitter. So the mother of Krishna was very upset with Radharani, and Krishna was just playing a game. Like that. So those are the pastimes we are missing out. Anyway, all right.
One more?
Yeah, one more.
I was very much attached to those sages. I was gentle in behavior, and all my sins were eradicated in their service. In my heart, I had strong faith in them. I had subjugated the senses, and I was strictly following them with body and mind. These are the necessary qualifications of a prospective candidate who can expect to be elevated to the position of a pure, unadulterated devotee. Such a candidate must always seek the association of pure devotees. One should not be misled by a pseudo-devotee. He himself must be plain and gentle to receive the instructions of such a pure devotee. A pure devotee is completely surrendered unto the personality of Godhead. He knows the personality of Godhead as the supreme proprietor and all others as his servitors. And by the association of pure devotees only, one can get rid of all sins accumulated by mundane association. A neophyte devotee must faithfully serve the pure devotee, and he should be very much obedient and strictly follow the instructions. These are the signs of a devotee who is determined to achieve success even in the duration of life.
It says in here, in the previous verse we were reading, that he naturally became attracted to the things and naturally got not attached to the other things, Sometimes as devotees, we force ourselves to do things, and then it doesn't work. It's like, like a boiling pot. You just put a lid on it, and it's just a question of time. They will explode anyway, So it's important to know the association is what we need, and we're doing that. So And also understand that without that, we'll maybe not make too much progress, but we cannot do it fakely, you know. We have to be. All right, let's read it. 1-5-29. All
So
right.
we're on 1-5-30.
Yes. Oh, yes, right. We just finished.
We
All
just
right.
read this one. I'll write it down too.
I think I will put it on the, you know what, in the chat
Oh, okay. Good idea.
so that we have it in there.
How are
Here,
you doing?
very good. I applied for a, let me